dashboard. All the girls think you're too much now. Back it up, SKE.
Good afternoon, gents. John Carey, 1963 Jag coming at you here on we're going to start a little project. This is my dashboard panel, and this is my driver's instrument panel for the E-Type. And these are meant to be covered. Were originally covered in a black plastic material that was textured, and this is the recommended replacement here. It's a grained vinyl that comes from a company called Hartz, H-A-A-R-T-Z, and to my eye it looks pretty close, but it's, you know, it's not perfect. So I'm going to get out my goodies. We're going to do the installation of our cover. So I have a collection of binder clips and clothespins. I've got some little popsicle stick looking things here, little wooden sticks, which I will use to avoid putting creases in the vinyl with the binder clips, because these are pretty aggressive, some of them. And I can just put little snips of wood under the clips to stop it from putting a big mark in the vinyl. So there you see my collection of clips. You see the vinyl, you see the glue, a little work surface. Basically, we're going to do this together. So you guys will watch me figure this out. And one of the first things I figured out that I need is a piece of chalk or something to mark on the back of the fabric. So let me put you on hold and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to have to turn on the fan. It's happened to be about 95 degrees out here right now, and it's just a little warm. So here's my plan to basically lay this out on the back of the fabric. I think that's, you know, that's the norm, right? Lay this out, and then I'm going to take a look at the front just to see if there's some kind of an alignment to the grain that I want to be sensitive to. You know, it's got a little bit of a horizontal kind of creasings in it, so maybe that's the direction we should be thinking about. You don't see enough of it to really get too carried away. And that one there is in a slightly different orientation anyway. I want these two to look alike, so I think I'm going to make them out of one piece. Pretty heavy little piece of steel. Let's see if I can find something else. Oh yeah, I got these two little small hand anvils that I bought at a garage sale. They'd come in handy for straightening metal work and such. So a little piece of cardboard maybe cut out to that shape I think would be just about right. Let's see where that should place it. Don't let it touch before you're ready. Boys, got the front glued down. I weighted it down for about 10-15 minutes, and then I sprayed the side panel. So I'm just doing the flat surfaces first, and then I'll start doing the folding and trimming next and see how that goes. That's a little more challenging, as I'm sure you know, to get all these corners and everything tight. So I figured the first thing I want to do is get the face flat, smooth, and adhered really tightly. And that way I'm only pulling and stretching on the little corners rather than putting a wrinkle in the face of the unit while I'm pulling on it. And I don't know if that's a good technique or a bad technique, but it's just what I thought of, and so I'll give that a try on this one. So 10 or 15 minutes. So this has just been glued down, and I just applied the weight. So that's the technique I'm using. I'm just applying weight, dead weight, straight down to give it time to grab hold. And the way this contact cement works, you spray both surfaces. You give them 1 or 2 minutes to dry on both surfaces, and they say you test it by touching the back of your knuckle to the glue, and if it doesn't pull away, it feels sticky but it doesn't pull away onto your knuckle, then it's ready. And then put the two surfaces together and they're stuck together forever. So I got plenty of material here actually, so if I make a complete mess out of something, I think I could actually do it over. They gave me 2 pieces, both of which were big enough to do both of the panels I needed to cover. So while that might be nice in one sense, I could have paid half as much and gotten just what I needed too. But maybe they've learned their lesson over the years that it makes more sense to send double. So it was $35 for this material, including shipping. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've got more. Okay, starting work on part 2, which is the instrument panel. I just sketched it out here, and I have a little mask that I can use for these 2 places here. The rest I'm got pretty good control with this spray nozzle, so I think I'll be alright. Okay guys, here's another step in the work process. I'm just going to tilt the camera sideways so you can see this. I've got it standing on end. So cutting out the glove box opening and then putting these little wooden like popsicle stick things around the inside barrier so that it didn't leave a mark. I noticed the binder clips. Actually this one looks like it's, no, that's okay. It's just sitting on the, it's on the wood. So I've used every clip and clamp I own, including every pair of vice grips I have, to clamp that all the way around the inside edge to get a nice smooth finish. And it looks like it's going to turn out real good. And so here's the mechanical backside, and you can see the method I used in terms of trimming the vinyl into little strips where it was going around the curves. And thanks to my wife Denise for showing me that. She's a master sewer, seamstress, so she's really quite gifted at that stuff. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm pretty sure it'll turn out great because the other parts turned out really good. You know, the outer edge, which I clamped really well and left overnight to dry, has taken the shape here really well. You can see here some of the marks from the tighter clamping that I did. It actually takes the grain out of the vinyl a little bit, but that's fine. This is not showing. The dash cover kind of comes down along here, so that's not really going to show. And then down here I was a little more careful. This is a little bit visible, you know, it's not. It's kind of like where your knees are, but you know, if somebody looks down in the footwell or something, they'd see this edge, so I want to make sure that was nice and trimmed out and pretty. And I folded all the pieces back over these edges so that this is a trimmed edge along this side, so it comes around and tightens up all in there. So that's the glove box panel. And then the dash panel I actually test fit into the car a minute ago. So here's a look at that, and while I had it on the bench, I put the headlamp, what they call the dip switch, which I think is, believe it or not, turns on the high beams or something. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. The brake fluid low level or handbrake on switch. There's my turn signal repeater indicators, and the heat and airflow controls are put in, but everything else is blanked out, meaning the two big instruments are still sitting up here in cardboard, and I've got to cut out those holes for them right here and right here, which should work out fine. These all work out really, really well. It was pretty nice to trim this out. So I think what I'm going to do on these instruments is just trim it flush. I'm not going to try and fold it back over, partly because I'm worried I won't have enough clearance for the instruments to slide through. And there's a faceplate, a bezel that goes around the outside, which will capture the vinyl. We don't have to really worry about that. Something else I did the other day since I took the video is I actually put silicone sealer all around the edges of my aluminum heat shielding. You can get a little bit of a look at that. It's not real pretty, which is, it is what it is, I guess. It's an engine bay, for crying out loud. But I do have some aluminized 3M aluminized tape that I wanted to use to seal that up, which I have right here. So there you can see the type that I got is metal tape number 3382. Good for extreme weather conditions and performs below freezing for flashing in gutters. So I figured it would hold up for in the engine bay, if it's strong enough to take the temperature outside. And then Greg emailed me or put a comment on my video that I had gotten the wrong stuff at Lowe's, and sure enough I went back to Lowe's and I looked around forever, and I finally found this stuff, the right stuff, which is duct installation insulation model number FV516. And the stuff I found, was for pipes and things like that, but this is the good, nice, tight, closed cell foam that's on the back of the aluminum. So I got 2 rolls of that, and I'm going to finish up the back area of the car here with that. And I still have the roof to do in the silicone rubber, but I silicone sealed all of those pieces now, so all the joints in there are sealed up and airtight. So that was part of what the kit's instructions were, was make sure you seal all the joints with the pure silicone seal. So I did that. And something else I can tell you is I dug out my heating and air vent pieces the other day. So there's one right there, and I had an old vacuum cleaner, actually this one right up here, this little Dirt Devil, that had lost its I wanted a longer hose on it, I guess. Actually, I didn't lose it, I just wanted a longer one, and I had a leftover from one of my shop vacs. So I took the small hose from the shop vac and used it on that vacuum. So I was able to make some hoses, because the other ones that were made of paper and wire got real brittle. So I salvaged these 2 long ones because I didn't have enough of the new hose. There's the new hose and there's the old hose. So kind of hard to tell the difference, to be honest, but one's plastic and the other's paper and wire. So I got those all out and started thinking about putting those in. So they've got to go in before you get all the instruments and all the dash panels in, so I'll do that and make sure those are in place and situated. Then I'll put the dash panels back in permanently, and hopefully that'll be the end of that. And then I'm waiting on the shipment from my Jag parts supply company called SNG Barrett, which is the place I've been buying almost all of my spare parts. And these guys are really good guys. They've been taking good care of me, and I'm very happy with them as a company. That's not going to stay there, so I'm going to have to put you guys down here. I really don't have a place to put this little cheapy Kodak camera, but it's so handy. It's thin, and I can just stick it in my pocket. anyway, I got a bunch of stuff on the way that I need before I can put the center instrument cluster in, and so I was glad to get these recovered or have them. They will be done by tomorrow morning, so this one will sit overnight. That should be it, and I'm ready to go. So instruments, panels can go back in, and then I've got all the duct, or I should say the heating insulation done so that I can get the engine and gearbox in. So I've kind of been waiting on that. I worked a little bit on the rear end. I told you guys about that in the earlier video. So that's all done. There was something I just found a minute ago that I need to do. I didn't put these on when I rebuilt the IRS because you've got to grease the joints and everything. So I need a new grease gun. My old grease gun won't work well. Although somebody told me they thought maybe it had an air bubble in it. But these are covers that go over the universal joints on the half shafts that come out of the differential and go into the hubs out by the wheel. So it's just like a dust and dirt cover that can go over that and keep it clean, and they go on the axle. And then there's a little clearance hole, and I've got some rubber plugs that go in those clearance holes for the grease fitting. So I could fit those because it doesn't really matter, you know, they can go on now, it doesn't have to wait. So get those out of the way, get that done while the wheels are off the back axles. So I'll probably do that today, and then we're going up to San Francisco to meet a old friend of mine that I've known for 25 years or so. His wife and he were up in the wine country having a little hangout, maybe even a business retreat. I can't remember what he said, but they were coming into San Francisco tonight to hang out. And they stayed at the Mark Hopkins Hotel, which is a beautiful hotel downtown San Francisco. We're going to go down and meet him for a drink and dinner. So I've got to get cleaned up and be ready to go about 4:30. So it'll be a short day out here in the garage. But just want to let you guys know that in keeping with my weather tradition, oops, did you guys see my new? Yeah, here it is. So it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's just about 75 degrees outside. Somewhere sunny, and 75 is a country song, and I always think about that every day I'm out here. Look at this weather, man. It's just perfect again today. And they said we might get some storms tomorrow. Thunderstorm, actually. So, but look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? It's beautiful out here. It's going to get hot in the sun. And yeah, so it's a nice day to be out in the shop, fooling around, taking care of things. So it's really crowded in this little space right here where I walk. I've just got to clean this stuff up, but you know, I keep taking stuff out of boxes and putting it out, and then thinking, oh, I don't want to put that back upstairs, so I'll just set it down here because I can get at it. And little by little I'm getting really overloaded. So, but the good news is I'm throwing plastic bags away, I'm throwing boxes away. Gosh, it's so exciting to see this thing coming back together like it is. So no, that's it from me. Nothing much else today. Great to see Neil back. I was really getting worried about him. He had disappeared, and we didn't hear a peep out of him. No comments, no. I thought my camera was going to fall. No comments, you know, just, but then he said he was been really sick. So that's Dan Electro 68. So glad to see Neil back, feeling well, and it's great to have him putting up a video today and working on his car. And I've been watching, you know, the Wrecking Yard, Ron Hansen get his car, his little Porsche put back together. Really enjoying that. And I told Ron he's inspired me because I've made that little patch on the door panel. And you know, when it comes to little brackets and things, rather than going and spending $12 at the supply store for the Jag part, I just make it. And I've got the electroplating kit, so I can zinc plate things that I make, and it's been really fun. It's been cool knowing that I can kind of manufacture little pieces as I need them, which has been good. So have a nice day, everybody. It's Sunday the 18th of August. It's my youngest daughter's birthday today. We actually celebrated it on Friday, but she's 22 years old today. So my baby. So now we're done with college. I think I mentioned that, so that's all good. So she's home living with us, but only here once in a while. She's up in the city hanging out with friends last night for her birthday party, and stayed over up there. And she said she'd be home later today. So, all right, guys, have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.